What's up, everybody? Brandon and Chris back here again. This time we are reviewing Star Wars The Last Jedi. It has been out for a couple days now, and we wanted to kind of give our impressions after it's settled in a little bit. I've actually seen it twice already. Chris, you've seen it once. And first impressions.
Loved it.
Loved it? Okay. My first impression is I loved it too. I think it is getting a lot of scrutiny right now. A lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I have to disagree with most of it.
Yeah, I think it's getting way too much.
Way too much. Most of it's over-exaggerated. Some of it's just crybabies.
Yeah.
I think
it's a lot of tribalism, too. People jumping in.
Yeah. Oh, I think so, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like that either. Bullshit.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I really hated that. Yeah. I hated that. It was ridiculous.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
Okay. First thing, I want to get out of the way is this is going to be full spoilers. I'll put it in the title.
Absolutely.
You can't really do a really good review
I ain't
or
holding
discussion.
Myself back.
Yeah. You can't do a good review or discussion without it. And I'm not going to start with saying, oh, it was so good. And we need to talk about things I liked about the film without spoilers. Just get fucking right into it.
Yeah.
You want to start at the beginning of the film, or you want to start end, or just randomly, or?
Sure, we can start
okay, so
very beginning.
So like the beginning of the film, it was a very strong opening to a Star Wars film. I really believe that. Poe Dameron was awesome, taking on the Juggernaut.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I do. The only thing you can, and this is where people will start nitpicking shit. It was kind of weird that thing wasn't designed to handle smaller aircraft. And no, there's no shields on it apparently either with the bombers, but still nonetheless, awesome opening scene. I could get behind something like that. Poe Dameron was awesome. It really brought out his character.
Yeah. And
I thought everything he did fit his character well.
Yeah.
He was a smart ass. He's a gung-ho, shooter, happy kind of guy, a trigger happy kind of guy. I'm going to say it. People are mad about the humor in this movie. Some people are mad about the humor, like it was excessive and all that. Well, no, Thor was excessive for that kind of movie. Does this need it? No, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Just like it was excessive in Thor, but it was fine because it was entertaining. That's all you can say. It doesn't belong there, but it's fine. It might cover up a few things that are, that weren't well thought out or something, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's still fine. The stuff between him and Hux, hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll hold. That was great. Cause and I didn't think it didn't, I won't say that it was ridiculous, this part anyway, because it fit.
Yeah, it fit his character.
It fit Poe's character, and he was stalling.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it worked really well.
Half of the thing, when people bitch about the comedy relief, half of Han Solo was comedy relief.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nobody bitched about that.
Yeah. It was like that pretty much the whole way through.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's things that people, I think, forget about. They'll bitch about it, like maybe a little after, and then they forget about it in hindsight because right now they're focused on this, and if this is bad, then the other one was better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think they look at the original trilogy with rose-colored goggles. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore the first trilogy, the original trilogy, because, those are some of the best films in history, or just funnest films in history. Look what it gave us. Look at the history. Yeah. It's great. But there are similarities in The Force Awakens and even in this one.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of similarities
to these movies, and people need to understand. Like, I really think, and I'm probably going to say this again later, I imagine, when I get on a rant or some bullshit, because I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
People need to sit on this for probably a week or maybe a little bit longer. Watch it 2 or 3 times and tell me the same shit you're telling me now.
Yeah.
A lot of scrutiny I'm hearing. Some of it is understandable, but some of it is absolute nonsense. Some of it is shit that they'll like, they didn't catch or they weren't paying attention to because they were just mad on the surface. They were just mad about something that happened. And then somebody, like, I watched a review the other day where somebody was pissed about something, and all of a sudden, and then somebody actually in the same review corrected them. And he's like, oh, well, I didn't catch it. It's still stupid. Like, that's not... This is why you need to watch it a couple times.
Yeah.
And fucking process this.
Well, especially if you're going to do... If you have something that you seriously dislike about a movie, but you're going to try and do a critique of it on the internet, then you should at least know what you're talking about before you jump into it.
Absolutely. I think some of it's just knee jerk.
Yeah.
A lot of it's
crybabyism.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's a knee jerk. Okay, so I tell you what. Instead of just going through the whole thing, we'll go through it, but we'll kind of go a little quicker because we've got a podcast coming up that we're going to discuss this with Andrew and stuff too. But just real quick, some of the points that people hated, and you can get towards the beginning of the movie. I think like they were having trouble with the Leia thing where she used the Force to come back to the ship and it saved her in space. Was it silly? Sure.
Could have done without it.
Could have done without it.
But I'm not mad.
Well, that's the thing. That's the stick. Like, is it really so bad that it didn't need to be there? Like, it didn't have to be there, but I mean, that's not really the point. Like, it's not as silly as people let on. Like,
no.
I mean, people were talking about giving her Force power. She's obviously been sensitive to the Force this whole time. And when something happens...
How could she not be?
Yeah, and when
she's Darth Vader's daughter.
Exactly. And when she gets a moment, though, we have a problem with this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just no matter how silly it was, that's... I mean...
Well...
It's fucking Star Wars, dude.
Yeah.
It's fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, now don't get me wrong, I'm not your fucking typical purist. I'm not. But that doesn't make me any less of a fan.
I'm not a purist.
Yeah.
On most things.
Right. But that doesn't make me a fucking any less of a fan.
Yeah.
I love these fucking movies. I'm a big fan of these movies.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't read all the books and all that shit. And I know people who have and are much more fucking level-headed and understanding, especially about our take on this movie, because they feel the same, about it.
Yeah.
Than a lot of people are being.
Well, I've seen people on Facebook in comment sections that were saying that they're huge fans of Star Wars and they have to prove that they're a huge fan of Star Wars before they even say this. They got to say they got to add that they did something. They went to a Comic-Con dressed as Luke Skywalker or some bullshit, and then they proceed to say that they like the prequels better than
That's
this.
insane.
Man, you're fucking high on peyote if you think that the prequels even come close to the quality of this movie.
Of the last two.
Yeah, of most movies.
Even though the first one was, even though Force Awakens was more cookie cutter and New Hope-ish, it still had its own, it still was better.
By far.
Than most parts of the...
But I hate most things about the prequels, though. So.
Well, I hate a lot of things about the prequels. I do like the prequels. I still enjoy some of the things about the prequels.
Yeah.
But I
can watch them.
But if someone out there... And I really think that Episode 1's underrated. I really do. I think people shit on it because of Jar Jar, and that's fine. But it's not that bad of a movie.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't like most things.
You want to talk about shit, man? 75% of Episode 2 with Anakin and fucking Padme.
At least 75%.
God dang, that was stupid.
Yeah,
if you think that The Last Jedi was worse,
to get through.
Yeah, it was. It's corny. Like if you think that The Last Jedi was worse than that, then fuck you.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, you're being
for
an
real.
Idiot.
Fuck you.
But
anyway, and Rotten Tomatoes thing, we've seen that, and that was silly. I mean, at first the user review was lower than the audience view was lower than Justice League. Yeah. Now it's higher, isn't it? I think it's higher.
No, it's
still not higher.
No.
Justice League went up. Yeah, Justice League went higher in the audience.
The
critics,
the user reviews of Justice League are like 80% or 79% or something.
That's right, 79%.
And the Rotten review is like 40.
40. It's opposite this way.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's 93 critics, and only like 59.
Yeah. That's unheard of.
That's crazy. Yeah, because Rotten Tomatoes is ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
We bitch about them a lot, or the critics of them.
For the most part, I hate critics, and I usually go completely against what they say for the most part. Because, like, I mean, they got fucking Lady Bird sitting at 99%.
Yeah.
It's a coming of age story about a high school girl. How the fuck could that be a 99%?
I don't know.
And to be fair, I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna watch it because I don't give a fuck about.
What's like 30?
I don't like the artsy fartsy bullshit that they keep trying to shove down
of the
our
people.
goddamn throat.
Yeah, 30% of the people actually like. But yeah, it's just silly. Anyway, so let's get back to the film. And things that we actually liked and disliked. People had a problem with the Leia thing, and you didn't have that problem with that.
Not really.
I didn't. Really
I was kind of thrown
when
off
I
by
when
it
I first watched it.
first.
I'm like, what the heck is
yeah,
this?
I was thrown off by it because I thought that was their out.
Well, that's why. That's
Carrie
why.
Fisher dying.
That's why. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even the Force she was using. It was like, oh my god, this was their out, and they're going to take it.
Yeah, and they didn't.
And they didn't, right? So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So they didn't take it. Next thing up was, I think and I might be a little out of order here, and I've seen it 2 times, but there's just so much shit going on. Let's go back to the beginning. Luke Skywalker throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder. What did you think about that?
I thought it was funny.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It was funny. I thought it was
well,
funny.
given who he was,
Didn't expect it. So
yeah,
it was
exactly. It didn't expect it. That might not have been what people would think of it, but to tear it to pieces is silly. I mean, obviously he wasn't in the mood. He obviously made his point pretty clear right there.
Yeah, people are getting just too emotional.
Oh yeah, way too emotional. What about the casino plan? I can't remember the name of it now.
That was my only real big bugaboo.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that big. Like, it's expected. It has to happen in movies.
Oh yeah.
You have to have a
subplot.
There has to be a point in a movie where, especially it's a 3-movie trilogy.
Yeah.
They have to take
and the longest Star Wars movie, mind you.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
They have to take some time to build characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was expected. I didn't like it, but it was expected.
I didn't really like the introduction of Rose. I didn't like her as a whole.
No, I
here
didn't
and there's something she'll do at the end that we'll talk about in a little bit. But I didn't like her as a whole. I think she's a sweet actress. I think she's a sweet character, even in the movie. But annoying.
Yeah.
Just I don't care.
Yeah.
The whole subplot I really didn't care. I love Poe Dameron. I like Finn okay. But
Finn had one cool spot where he fought Phantasma or
Phasma.
Phasma.
Yeah.
I always say Phantasma.
Phantasma. Because
Captain Phantasma.
You're thinking of Batman and the Mask of Phantasm.
Yeah. But anyway, that was one cool part. And well, I guess you could say the part later on when with the cannon. That could have been really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been, like, people would have really been pissed.
Yeah.
If he went through
Well, I was going to talk about that later, but yeah, so, like, Rose was the one that prevented him from dying there.
Yeah.
Which was insane, like, silly. And then the whole peck on the cheek, or the peck on the lips kiss, and the passing out like she was dead or something, like, it was just silly. All of it was dumb. She was annoying. The whole, her whole dialogue was really anime-ish or something, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to sound stupid, but like,
they took her.
It's cheesy.
They took her to the casino planet, and they had this thing with the animal cruelty, and she was a slave with her sister.
And the money, power with the government, and evil government, and hey, we're all about evil government. We mouth the evil government all the time.
Yeah.
But like,
this was kind of just force fed a little bit.
Well, it was. Well, I mean, the thing about Star Wars though is it's always been about, rebels versus empire. It's always been about, government versus people.
Yeah. Really,
the Republic versus the government, like a stronger government or a more involved. That's what it's always been about.
Yeah.
I just think it was a little bit too heavy in this here, like it just looked like a very earthly like planet, and she was just disgusted by it, and I was like, okay, like I really don't give a fuck. The animals were cool, and how they escaped was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Even with all the CGI, it was fine. I don't know, like that was probably the weakest part of the film,
Yeah.
and it didn't need to be there. But at the same time, it did, because even though we all cared about Rey and Luke's story more and Kylo's story more, you know, we still got a lot of doses of that. It cut away a lot to that, back to, you know, the island and stuff. And no matter what you think, you care about this more, but you would have been just as upset if, you know, we didn't have something for these people.
Yeah.
And they can't always be doing something outrageously awesome.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
There was just...
They have to build some character.
Well, this was about Jedis. This was about bringing the religion. This was about more than just, you know, something happened. You know, a big war is coming. A big fight's coming. These people will have their spots.
Yeah.
But right now, this was just about getting away from the First Order, and so I mean, it all worked well together. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Some people had a problem with Poe not being told these orders, so he obviously would have mutinied because of his character. And this all could have been solved prior if he would have just, you know. But then again, you wouldn't have had a fucking subplot.
Yeah,
like
this is how movies work.
That's how real life works. Like you're always going to have people that's not going to say something to somebody, and he was being punished. I mean, he did get a lot of people fucking killed. As cool as he was,
a lot of people, and not just people, but assets.
Yes,
he wasted
bomber
a
ships,
lot of
everything.
assets to take one Devastator down.
Yeah, the Dreadnought.
Yeah,
Dreadnought or the Juggernaut. Dreadnought.
It was Dreadnought.
God,
I don't
I'm
know.
terrible.
I don't remember.
Terrible about that. I think it's Dreadnought.
Either way, I don't know. I didn't have a problem with any of that, other than I could have done without it. But at the same time, it's how movies work.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was really funny. They didn't dive really deep into every little thing, and you know, I understand that's unfortunate. I understand people's being bothered by that, but you know, we didn't need that. We just had plenty of other shit to tell with Rey and Luke that I was much more worried about. So the fact they went to this planet and they found the guy, and then they were stopped right before they were able to talk to him, and then they end up finding this alternate guy, you know, who could do the exact same thing, but he was just turns out a big piece of shit.
Yeah.
I thought his role was cool. I liked his role.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was weird because, you know, he was there, he helped him, and then he fucking betrayed him. Just basically, it was just really set up and to get to that spot.
Yeah.
So I get the complaint about it being weak, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth freaking out over.
The subplot for this was pretty weak.
Yeah. It was.
But I mean,
But that's not why we're here.
That's it, and it's not the first Star Wars to have a weak subplot
or a main plot.
You know what I mean?
Like that's it. This is not that big of a deal. I don't know what people expect. You know what I mean? Like it's just
I don't either. One thing that I absolutely loved that everybody seems to hate is Snoke dying.
Yes.
Everybody hates it. Everybody hates it, and I love it.
And I don't know how many people were out there were like me, but I was fucking shocked.
I wasn't that shocked. I was surprised, but I wasn't shocked because I knew something big was going to happen because they were both there.
Right.
You know, Rey and Ren were both there.
Yeah,
something big had to happen.
Yeah, but you knew something big was going to happen, but you calling Snoke dying would have been probably far down the list. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, this guy that
I knew that something crazy was going to happen. I didn't know what it was, but like they put the visual cues in. Like, and I don't know if I was just paying really close attention at that time, but like when I seen his hand move, like start turning, and he was turning the lightsaber and turning this hand at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And he was describing, Snoke was describing.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he's going to fucking kill him. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and that was my first thought. And then my second thought was, well, no, he'll catch it. He'll stop him. And
Snoke was going to stop him.
And then I was like, well, what the fuck could happen then? Could he kill Ren?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, what's going on here?
You know?
Or is Luke going to show up? Because I was like, I kept waiting. I knew Luke was going to show up eventually. Or I had that feeling, right? So I'm waiting. Okay, so Luke is going to show up here before it gets bad.
Yeah.
You know, something's going to happen. Maybe it was too early, but something had to happen. Something had to give, right? And then him fucking cutting him in half was just, I I looked at the guys, our other buddies. I'm like, holy shit! What do we go from here? Like, what is this? And then and that was just initial reaction. You're like, this guy's obviously super fucking powerful.
Yeah.
This guy's emperor-like, Palpatine-like, and it was at first I'm like, wow, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know what to feel. This is just, it's weird. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But I loved it. I wasn't mad. I loved it so much because I'm like, oh my God, this changes everything I thought was going to happen. This is changing so much already. And they come together for a minute, mutually, with mutual bad guys in their way, and they work together, which was awesome. How fucking
cool was that fight, man?
Oh man,
that was awesome.
So
that was awesome.
And I absolutely love that fucking room. I don't care how some people say it's simple. I loved it.
Yeah,
I fucking loved it.
Simple is good.
Simple is very good. Less is more.
Oh yeah.
Red room, I love it, dude.
Yeah, red room with the fighters in all red.
Yeah. Okay, and there is And a buddy actually pointed this out to me. This meta commentary that's in this movie is incredible.
Oh yeah,
and it's I think people are just upset because they don't want to come to grips with the fact they are kicking us in the nutsack, and you just don't want to take it.
Yeah,
and it's not in a bad way. Like they're taking everything that we thought we wanted, everything that we thought could happen. And they're throwing it all out the fucking window.
And they should. There's too many fans that are on the internet that think that they are actually involved, and they're not. You are not a fucking part of this.
Yeah.
You are meant to sit back and enjoy this.
Exactly. And you're not enjoying it. You're not allowing yourself to enjoy it. There's people going so far as to saying they want Lucas back involved again. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I will straight up boop you on the fucking head.
That is crazy.
Fuck you.
His time is gone.
After what he did to us with
the prequels and shit.
Prequels, fuck you.
No. Yeah, and you blame Disney. Like, I'm not apologizing for Disney. I'm not saying that they don't fuck up.
They don't need it. They don't need it. They did not. They've taken Star Wars and they've made it bigger
than it's ever been.
They've made it even bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because they have the money to do it.
That's crazy.
They have the money to push it.
Man.
Now, I understand it can get watered down. I understand for some people, I understand that they could almost hoard out too much.
They cannot. And I hope not. But I seriously don't think they could ever water it down more than Lucas did.
Oh, well, no. I mean that was pretty cookie cutter. It really was. It really was. And that's the crazy thing is people
they haven't fucked with.
They didn't want cookie cutter until they seen this movie and they're like, man, I wish I had cookie cutter back.
Yeah, exactly.
When Force Awakens was too much like A New Hope, if this is like Empire, I'm gonna be, at the very least a little disappointed because I don't want them copying shit. I don't want them just copying stuff and moving on. I don't want that. Although it could be good and Empire was so good, I don't want that. And then now people are wishing it was a carbon copy of Empire because they were so mad at this one.
Well, because it caught them off guard. Yeah. They didn't expect Snoke to die. They figured Snoke would die at the end of the next movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they
don't want Luke to die. Because he's Luke Skywalker. You know what? Guess what? He's old. Not just Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill is old.
Yeah.
He cannot be Luke Skywalker forever. He will die.
Yeah.
They have to have an out for the actor.
Well, if you want
Solo, he had to go.
Well, if we wanted to talk about, like Gray, Luke Skywalker Gray, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, I think that ship had sailed. As much as I'd love to have seen it, and I thought I'd love to have seen it, I think what they're doing here is a little bit bolder, and it's okay.
Yeah.
This is a good out. Like, he's going to be more powerful. He's ascended.
Yeah. He'll be back for the next one.
He'll be back for the next one. He
just won't be.
No. Well, what was he going to do? Take on the whole fucking, First Order? Come on. Yeah. Like, he's like, no matter how strong he is, that's crazy.
I didn't feel unfulfilled by the end with him dying.
Yeah.
Or ascending, whatever you would call it. I didn't feel unfulfilled by it. I felt fine with it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think because everything else that happened in the movie, when it happened, I'm like, oh, what? And, I was like, oh, man, I was just a little bit bummed because I was expecting this to go like down in the third movie too. But I'm like, I didn't hate it. I'm like, that's okay. Like, I understand. And he'll be back anyway. Like, no one's ever truly gone, as he said.
Yeah.
But like back to the meta commentary, him, like Luke saying to Rey on the island, like, this is not going to end like you think it's going to.
Yeah.
That's good at, telling the audience that this is not what you think it is.
Well, and then
Rey and Kylo.
Yeah.
That dialogue in there after he killed Snoke was amazing.
Yeah.
And people not enough people are talking about this at all, I don't think. Him saying that to get rid of the past, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
You need to kill the past. Well, and if necessary.
That's not my favorite one is, he says, he tells her that, you are nobody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like your parents are nobody.
What was preceded
and that could all be bullshit.
It could all be bullshit. I think what precedes
it probably is.
I think it might be. I have that feeling, but
everybody has their theory about who her parents are, and they've been spreading these videos all over YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and all over Facebook and all over Twitter and all over these other social media, and the people making this movie are looking at this shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so then they're going, well, let's fuck with them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad they are. I hope they are. I hope they are.
I hope they are too.
I mean, you got to think. And what preceded that actually was when he said, you ever? I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically asked about her parents. He's like, don't you? Like, He said, say it. She's like, they were nobodies. He said, that's right. They were nobodies. They were scum. They were, they basically sold you off for drinking money.
Yeah.
They're scum. He said, and what he said before he said you're nobody that I didn't catch until the second viewing was when he said, not only did he say you're nobody, he said you're not a part of the story.
Oh yeah.
And that is straight up meta commentary. Like you're not a part of the story. You're nothing. You're nobody, but you're not nobody to me.
Yeah.
And that was, so that was like, that's telling me that, you're not like, she could be original.
Yeah.
And she could be an outsider. She may not fucking mean anything.
Yeah.
This could all be leading to him in a bigger way.
Yeah. And I don't think that is the case.
Well, no,
I have my own theory that I could spread around, but
she could be a Kenobi. She could be just Rey.
She could be a fucking Jar Jar Binks' granddaughter. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? She could be anybody.
Palpatine's daughter. Like the theories are not going to go down that way anymore. Like this is all over. It's all done.
Yeah.
And that's what people are like. You get this shit worked up so much in your head.
Oh yeah, and we did it with Metal Gear.
Sure, we did it.
We did it.
Metal Gear 5,
yeah,
Metal Gear Solid 5. We did hardcore
with
Metal Gear Solid 5,
and it all turned out to be bullshit.
Yeah. Well, and to our credit though is he didn't get to finish that.
Yeah.
Like there were some other workings going on there too.
Yeah, but still, he got about half of it done,
and it wasn't looking good.
It wasn't looking anything like what we were thinking.
No. But he definitely didn't finish it.
No.
But yeah, it's still, we worked ourselves up and
we know how people do.
Yeah.
We know how they do with this shit.
Cause we do what we do, baby.
Yeah.
Boo.
It's nonsense. And we do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't do it and other people are the problem, cause I do it too. I'm just saying you need to understand that just because you have this idea in the back of you, in the back of your head or the front of your head, whichever, that the story's going to go a certain way because you want it to go a certain way. That's not the case. You're a fan. You're not the one making this shit.
And I understand that there's other people out there that could have written this a lot better than they did.
Subplot. I don't. Now the main story was fucking phenomenal, and the attention to detail for the main story it was amazing.
I think so.
It was amazing.
Because if you really go back and you look at all the set pieces in there, the entire theme of this movie, of this main plot, fits all together when you look at it.
Well, like the
and that's that anyone could be a hero, no matter who you are, and nobody could come out because the Force, like Luke said, does not belong to Jedi. It does not belong to one family. It is everything.
Everything.
Yes.
But like,
as seen with that kid with the mop at the end.
Yeah. Well, like there was that, and then there was the Skywalker and Kylo Ren fight, where every time Kylo Ren would move, the salt would kick up, and like he would make tracks, but Luke wouldn't.
Didn't. And I didn't catch that the first time.
I didn't catch it until you said something about it. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
that's
super.
And when he turned on the blue lightsaber, the Anakin lightsaber, I was like,
his
in
old
my
lightsaber,
head, I'm like,
he didn't have that.
Well, in my head, I'm like, well, that seems weird. He's got a blue lightsaber, but I didn't think, it was just destroyed at first. I was just like,
and
it's not green. And then
he looks a
but
little
I'm like, whatever.
Younger.
Yeah. And I'm like, whatever. And yeah, that was too. That was like, well, I'll I don't know, like, I was like, he got cleaned up for this. It's kind of silly. I don't know, it's weird, but whatever. I'm like, he'll go to war. Yeah. That's whatever. He's just going to war. Maybe he's refreshed and he's new and that's why he went back. I don't know.
His robes were cleaner.
Yeah, and you're thinking all this shit in your head and you're like, I'm going with it because this is awesome.
And like, well, like I was talking earlier, the scene where, Ren is turning the lightsaber and his hand at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's amazing attention to detail.
And that's something that you pointed out that I didn't. I'm like, I wonder why Snoke didn't, because this is a common, common little quirk that everybody's talked about that they have a problem with, and Snoke not sensing this thing moving next to him.
Yeah,
but
he was explaining it to the audience as it happened.
Yeah, he
said he could see inside his thoughts.
The intent.
He could see him turning the lightsaber against his enemy.
Yeah,
and he's turning this hand and this hand at the same time.
The thing is Snoke.
Like he was telling us what
Snoke
was happening.
Being so powerful does not mean he is incapable of making a mistake.
No, he's a dummy.
Yeah, it's obviously
super powerful, but a dummy.
Obviously, because he's seen the intent.
He just got killed by emo Vader.
Oh, straight up.
Is what happened.
Straight up. One of the best, arguably the fucking best character I've seen in Star Wars in a long time.
Yeah, I
Kylo Ren has so much
depth
and so much craziness. The fact that he is unfocused and is scary.
That's scary.
Like he's not Snoke focused. He's not Emperor or even Vader focused. But he has raw power, and he is fucking unhinged, and he's confused.
You're the only one that agrees with me on that. Yeah. Everybody else is like, "Oh no,
he's a bitch. He's a whiny.
Oh
bitch.
Yeah, he's just a whiny bitch.
No,
I don't like him. Oh no, I don't like that. Fuck you, dude.
That's what makes him fucking dead.
He's super powerful, and he's young.
Yeah, very young.
He's young.
He's been wronged by Luke. He feels like
crazy power. He feels like he's been wronged. He's super angry at the world.
Oh yeah. He's in the mindset, he's so psychotic, he's in the mindset that if he kills his past, it will all go away and the pain will stop.
Yeah.
That's what I gather out of it, right? And he wants to just rule and let the past die.
And, like right before the fight between him and Luke, like he tells him to put every gun on him. Mm-hmm. Every single gun they have.
Him yelling at the Falcon and take that piece of crap out.
Just
that was
screaming
awesome.
and yelling and
more. I loved it.
How
about that little shoulders?
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Shit. Especially at the time when because the magic's kind of ruined after the first time, but like that first time when he comes and you think it's the real Luke, it's like oh man.
Yeah, what a badass.
Well, it's fucking awesome.
He still was.
I want that poster, dude. The one where he's staring down the fucking gorilla walkers and everything. Oh my god. Or the one where he's sitting on the rock afterwards.
Yeah.
Right before he ascends.
What's the name of the general guy?
Hux?
Hux, yes. I like Hux.
I do too.
I
do too.
I think he is an awesome bad guy.
Awesome henchman, and awesome right-hand man kind of guy.
Apparently, I didn't know this because I hadn't read any of this, but apparently in the new like comic books, he is like Hux is the guy who built the First Order. Mm-hmm. Like that's all him. He did all that.
Really,
apparently.
I didn't know that. I'll have to read that.
I just watched a video earlier, and they were talking about how You know, he was the one that, like,
I need to read all this.
He's way more powerful, not, force powerful, but just resource powerful.
Yeah.
Than what they lead on in the movies.
I need to read up on this.
So is Phasma.
Yeah.
Or as I like to say, Phantasma.
Phantasma. Captain
she is
Mask.
too, because she was she's Hux's right hand woman, and she helped him build the First Order.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, that's a lot of fucking.
A lot of people have a problem with them Boba Fett and her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it too much. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just not.
I wouldn't. I didn't get down with all the hype for her.
I didn't either as much, but she.
From
what I've been told, though, her like side stories and stuff, like her origin stuff, is really cool.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I don't know. I'll read some stuff on her, but I'm not too worried about.
I need to get all the comics.
I do too. Yeah, I've got a lot of them at work and stuff, but I need to actually read them. I don't know. I hate. I mean, it sucks for some people who really like the character. I mean, I still think she's dead. I think she's dead, but I also don't think she's 100%. Like, she looked like it was an inescapable kind of death kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
But you never fucking know. You never fucking know. Because I guess like the comics and stuff, there's a story or side story or something where they explain how she gets out of the trash compactor and all that stuff too. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like no one's ever truly gone.
No.
How about the light speed jump into the fucking ship? One of the best scenes in the movie.
To me, in hindsight, just the way I felt in the theater watching that, I have to say that's probably my favorite scene.
It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat.
Like, I don't know, man, because there are like 3 or 4 different scenes in the movie that were breathtaking. Like, they had me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. Or, it wasn't, the lead up to it wasn't all, like, I wasn't biting my nails and sitting on the edge of my seat for
but when it happened, you're like, holy shit.
After it happened, then I was ready for it.
We both went forward. Like, when Snoke died, we both went forward. You know, this is my second time when I was like, oh man, this is, I was getting into it again.
Yeah.
And then
that fight's amazing.
Luke was coming out. We were kind of moving forward, and then when I love the reaction you had too, because like it was almost the exact same reaction I had when you found out he wasn't actually there. When Luke wasn't there.
I was like,
you're like,
what?
What the fuck is going on? He's force projecting. This is insane.
Over an entire galaxy.
Yeah, that's insane,
dude. So like, how strong is he, or was he?
Fucking strong.
You know what I mean?
He's stronger now. If he's ascended, right? Like right? That's from what I understand.
Like he's obviously stronger than what they were leading on in the movie.
He just closed himself off for a while. Doesn't mean he lost anything. But.
Well, no, I know he wasn't going to lose anything. I just mean,
but no, right? You're right.
He struggled with it. He struggled against this one, against this thing and this thing and this thing, and he's having such a hard time and blah blah blah, and they don't really show him doing anything spectacular.
Yeah, they
talk about him being all powerful, and they talk about him being good, a super good Jedi, and they talk about him being the one. But to force project yourself,
man, that's incredible. To
do a fight,
that's incredible.
Across an entire galaxy.
That's incredible.
That's I don't know. That blew me away. Blew me away. The whole scene there, really from the start of that, from the start of it where they start getting attacked to the end of it, just blew me away.
Oh yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Man, and apparently nobody else did, because they're all saying that they hated it.
I know. I actually know now what it was that dude got wrong. I was trying to think of that thing with the reviewer that I watched had got wrong. Because he thought it was weird with like the new force powers, and he thought it was weird that I think this was it. He thought it was weird that Rey and Kylo's minds were brought together by the force, and he didn't even. and somebody had to tell him, well, it was Snoke that bridged their minds first.
Yeah, he said that they did that.
Yeah,
he did it.
Yeah, and then because Snoke admitted that, and he's like, "Oh, that makes sense. I guess I didn't hear." He's like, "Whatever." And I looked over at my buddy when we watched it, and I said, "You see, that's fucking why you need to watch this shit again instead of coming with a knee jerk reaction after one watch." And
I caught most things.
You did. You caught most. Well, we talked about a lot of it too.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier.
The only thing that I didn't catch right away was I didn't catch Luke's feet not moving the sand.
Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time.
Salt.
I was so involved in his upper body and what he was in his movements that I didn't pay attention.
Yeah,
and they spoon fed you practically from the fucking beginning. That guy walking out and scuffing his.
Yeah, they did.
There's so many signs everywhere.
Well, that's why I was praising. That's why I was praising their detail.
Yeah,
dude, that's amazing to think of shit like that.
Well, to plant that shit in your mind and no one fucking caught it because everyone's pissed about without seeing it. It was so crazy. And they weren't pissed about that moment, but you know what I mean, like other details in the movie that. And the dialogue, like I said, is not being talked about enough.
No,
excellent dialogue, excellent. There's things that have gone down that people are just completely dismissing.
People are too worried about the goddamn Borgs or Borks or whatever the fuck they're called.
Porgs. Too worried about.
And I don't give a fuck about no goddamn little chicken bird thing.
They were fine.
Like there's all kinds of people who are like, oh, it's going to be the next Chewbacca. Fuck you.
What do you mean?
I'll fucking fight you in the street. Like right now.
I also have to point out that there was nothing in this movie that I don't think Chewbacca got enough screen time. No, he didn't.
And I don't think that I don't see how they're going to move forward with Leia.
Yeah, right.
They have already said that they're not going to use CGI to bring Carrie Fisher to the next movie.
That's what they've said.
But
they could have changed that.
How are they going to
They might have changed that. I don't know.
I think that they will have to... I'm thinking the first 5 minutes of the next movie, they're going to have to kill her.
Either kill her, or they're going to Paul Walker her.
Yeah, she can run the Resistance
off screen.
They can mess with
and keep her character and her hope alive in memory of, and then and you move on that way.
They could, and I kind of hope they do.
I hope. I mean, that'd be kind of
cool. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, just run it off screen. People will understand.
Yeah,
you don't have to kill somebody because that's almost what they're expecting you to do. And right now they ain't doing shit that we expected.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was expecting it. Exactly. I thought for sure. Oh yeah, she did.
Oh yeah,
but. They didn't, and I'm glad they didn't. It was neat. It threw me off.
It was, and that's why I loved it. It was ballsy.
Yes.
It was risky.
The whole movie was ballsy.
Yeah, risky.
The whole thing.
And
I see why Disney gave this guy his own trilogy.
Oh yeah, because you're taking a risk, buddy. You're taking a risk that no one fucking thought was possible.
You know, we talk about wrestling a lot on here, and it's kind of like the wrestling business.
Yeah.
You know, whoever, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he always says you have to take risks. You have to put your job on the line to get ahead of the next guy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not willing to put yourself out there and give it everything you got, then you're just going to fall behind and you're going to be a mid-carder. You don't want to be a mid-carder. You want to be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, goddammit.
Straight up.
You want to be the next Rock.
You don't want to be something that's already been.
You think fucking Vince McMahon gave The Rock all those lines? No. He came up with that shit in his own mind.
Back when they were allowed to.
Exactly. Well, I mean, they still could.
Oh yeah, they could go out.
What are they going to do? Cut the mic right in the middle of a promo? No, they're not. They're gonna see how it goes first.
Yeah. And they're gonna bitch at him later.
It's the same. Exactly. It's the same thing with these movies. This guy took a big risk. And I think it's going to pay off big time moving on.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, you have to sit on stew in this and you have to process this for a little while because when you first walk out, you're like, wow, I didn't feel like I was answered anything and I was left with more questions. But it actually answered almost everything and it did leave us a lot more questions.
It did.
But, which is fine. It says you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to in a second movie. I know that there was a lot of things that happened that usually would happen in the third act of the third movie. But, in the second, third act of the second movie.
But they're changing shit
up. But I think that, there's just things that I really, really liked about that. I love that.
Well, and that's...
They answered questions, though. It just wasn't what people wanted.
Exactly. But, I think I said this to you last night. When we were talking about the negative reviews from people. I don't think anybody realizes this is just a second movie. Mm-hmm. You need to fucking wait and see what happens in the third movie.
And that's the thing. People are already like jumping off the fucking horse, man. They're like, I'm not interested in Rey because she's nobody. I'm not interested in this and that anymore. I don't care anymore.
Dude, Rey showed so much fucking
You're
force power in this movie, and nobody's talking about it.
Raw power.
No one is talking about Rey.
Her and Kylo are raw power. Untrained, kind of, mostly, confused. They're confused, and they're going down a similar road. They're
all mad.
Oh my god.
Dude.
You're talking about a big fucking turn or clash or something coming.
They're at the end.
Who cares if she's nobody?
They're at the end.
Who cares if she is?
When Rey lifted all those rocks. What?
Yeah.
It took fucking... Luke Skywalker was not that goddamn powerful in the second fucking movie.
No. Well, and that's what people's problem is.
This is just the second movie.
That's what people's problem is. So that lack of training, lack of, but I look at it differently. I look at it as this shows that she is
so powerful.
So powerful.
So powerful.
Yeah, people need to understand this is a different person. This is you don't have to be trained to know the Force.
No.
Like you just,
well, yeah, and that's what we were saying last.
That's not the point of this film. That's not where they're going.
We were talking about this.
That's not where they're going with this.
There was a few people that were like, "Oh, well, she matched Kylo Ren in when they were fighting over the lightsaber." No, she fucking didn't. That was not a fight.
No.
They were not fighting. He's trained to fight. That was pure fucking energy from the Force.
It was power and instinct.
From both
It was
of them.
crazy.
And they matched each other with pure fucking force.
Yes.
That was not training. That had nothing to do with training. No. She was mad. He was mad. They were.
Somebody was saying Snoke wasn't Sith because he barely used Force lightning, and Kylo's not this because he wasn't that, and Rey's.
Dude, he about tore fucking Rey in half.
Rey's no Jedi because
Force. He's not a Sith.
You're not a Jedi if you don't use Force push, and shut the fuck up and sit down, dude. You need to stop.
Yeah.
You need to understand that there's going to be
Crawl up out of that fucking basement.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sorry that your shit was retconned a few years ago, but we need to look to the future about things and just see where this goes.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sorry. I'm a huge fan too, and I wasn't happy about it at the time, but we just need to fucking.
It doesn't bother me.
I know it doesn't bother you.
Well, coming from comic book world, reading comic books, you're used to shit getting retconned all the time.
All the time.
I mean, once a day there's a story.
We're always dealing with this. Always.
So I'm not bothered by it.
No.
I'm used to it.
They're old books, man. It happens.
Man,
look at the New 52. Now Rebirth.
If you're worried about something that was wrote in the 70s or the 80s, they're not gonna keep making it.
Oh, and by the way, Palpatine, we didn't know shit about him until after the original trilogy was over with.
Exactly.
So I don't care about at this point, now that I've thought about it, I don't give a fuck if I know anything about Snoke anymore.
No.
I don't.
No. You don't need to know.
Would have been fine, sure. In a side story comic book or something nowadays, yeah, they'll do that. I bet you anything they'll still do that.
Oh, they will.
But
they will.
Yeah, you'll get your fucking answers.
Maybe before the next movie comes out.
You'll get your fucking answers soon.
Yep.
Sometime. You'll get your answers. I'm almost positive because they'll want to make some money off that because people are interested. That's it. That's where it belongs. You just need to get over yourself.
And I hope he's just a fucking nobody. I hope he
hilarious.
is nobody.
Just like Rey, where he's...
And I hope everybody gets fucking pissed off about it. Because everybody is so sure that he's Plagueis.
Oh, I know.
I hope they just fucking get pissed off.
Well, man, there's so much to talk about. Andrew's coming back in.
I felt like this whole show we just talked about nothing but negative, and that's what pisses me off.
Well,
because I was telling my wife
this is very
earlier.
divisive. This is very divisive. This is a very divisive movie. It's been that way, and I hope that I hope more people I'm going to make this statement right now, and I've said this to you, and I've said this to another buddy, or actually a couple buddies. I think this is going to be that maybe a cult classic. I don't even think it's a cult classic. I think it'll be bigger than that.
Oh, I think
I think this is going to be the film that we look back on 5-10 years from now, And people are going to be like, this is one of the best fucking Star Wars movies. And this is right up there with Empire, if people aren't thinking that already. Because this is the turnaround.
A lot of critics are. A lot of critics have said that.
And I don't give a fuck about the critics normally, but I agree with that. Like,
I do too.
This is something I came to the conclusion on my own. I don't give a fuck about the critics. Yeah. But like, I think that this is going to be that movie where everybody will get over their shit and get over themselves. And a few years down the road, they're going to realize, especially after they see 9 and they see it all come together, if it's good, they could still fuck it up. More than likely they won't. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And they're going to see this come together and they're going to fucking love it.
Oh,
and if they don't, then piss on them.
Yeah.
Then sit in your little fucking world, watch Return of the Jedi and Empire, and then jack off to your books.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care, man, at this point.
Well, it's still, well, and what I was going to say was, I was telling my wife earlier that I'm kind of bummed out that people aren't loving this more.
No, I know, right? I mean,
I really am.
They just need to fucking sit some time. They need to sit and stew on this, man. They need to sit
this is
and
a
fucking
lot
process
like,
this.
A lot like
talk this out like we are.
When Batman v Superman came out and everybody was dogging on it, I got really bummed out that people didn't like it because I loved it so much. I wanted everybody else to like it too.
Well, we were always,
and I understand that
we were always in defense mode, and and for a little while, we're going to be in defense mode about this.
Oh yeah,
because that's how we feel.
Yeah,
it's okay. Listen, it's okay for you to feel the way you feel about this movie. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
It is.
But I'm going to tell you my rebuttal.
Yeah.
And if you don't agree with it still, then that's fine. But I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
I think you're overreacting. I think most people are overreacting or not giving this a fair shot.
Oh no, I don't think they are either.
I really don't. Now I'm gonna end it because we're going to talk about this more in our podcast coming up. We got some podcasts coming up soon. And
a few weeks, won't it?
It'll be a few weeks. We got one. Andrew's going to be back in a few weeks, and then we're going to do a whole Star Wars thing where we talk about all the movies.
Oy vey.
And then we're going to do a review on this because we want to bring him and talk about this too and get his opinion on this. And then we're going to cover this a little bit more and maybe in some scenes in depth, like how what we liked about the film and not just the negativity about it. This is just kind of initial impression shit.
Yeah, so. I can't wait for the podcast where we can talk more about this movie because I want to actually talk about the good.
Yeah. So hopefully people will be looking forward to that.
There was so much good.
Yeah, because we can actually talk about that and not this. But we just wanted to get this shit off our chest. It's kind of new. We're still feeling the buzz off of it. I'm ready for 9 already. That's how much I want more of it.
Yeah, me too.
And, it's given us a whole fresh perspective on what's to come, and we don't know what's coming. And I'm going to end it with a quote that a buddy I talked to tonight told me. He said, this gave me answers that I never knew that I wanted.
Yeah.
This movie did. That says a lot about what this film did.
It does.
So. All right, guys, be looking forward to the podcast, and we'll see you next time.